Gershwin's model of language processing. Gershwin model is known as 1x Gershwin model, which is an early model for understanding how speech is produced in humans. Now, the idea was first proposed by Carl Wernicke in 1870s, and later on the theory was renewed by Norman Gershwin in 1965. This model is basically a language model, and it accounts for listening, speaking, and reading. Now, the model explores two areas. One is comprehension and responding to written words, and second is comprehension and responding to spoken words. Now, this model basically concerns largely with the connections between different areas of the brain, and then it holds that how these areas basically they communicate in order to extract information about the meaning of a word before that particular meaning is passed to the speech production and the motor areas of the brain. So now we will look at different stages of the model and see that how it contributes in the language processing. So you can see 3 levels, and we will look at all these levels separately to see that how they function. Now, first, for listening to and understanding spoken words, the sound of the words are sent through the auditory pathways to area 41 of the brain. Now, which is the primary auditory cortex. Auditory cortex. From there, they continue to Wernicke's area, where the meaning of the words is extracted. Now, in order to speak, the meaning of words are sent from Wernicke's area via the arcuate fasciculus. Arcuate fasciculus to Broca's area. So, via arcuate fasciculus to Broca's area, where morphemes are assembled. The model proposes that Broca's area holds a representation for articulating words. Instructions for speech are sent from Broca's area to the facial area of the motor cortex, and from there, instructions are sent to facial motor neurons. These neurons are in the brain stem, which relay movement orders to facial muscles. In order to read, information according or concerning the written text is sent from visual areas 17, 18, and 19 to the angular gyrus 39, and from there to Wernicke's area for silent reading, or together with Broca's area for reading out loud. Now, so the model also explains basically how comprehension of and responding to auditory communication works. The Wernicke's Gershwin model has been considered as largely outdated due to inconsistencies in human case studies where an injury does not cause the expected deficiency based on the model. On the other hand, sometimes injuries outside of the regions identified in the model can cause various forms of aphasia, which is basically the difficulty in speech production. So, this process, which has been presented in the Gershwin's model, has been looked at from different angles, and different researchers have given their views with regard to that. But mostly it has been, although the model has contributed significantly in the understanding of language processing, but in the current state it has been considered as outdated, and lots of other fresh studies have looked at the language processing and proposed different models. To conclude, the Wernicke-Gershwin model is a historical model developed to understand the pathway in the brain responsible for auditory and visual cognition and speech responding.